Ugh, Jason, why don't I ever have any internet?
I don't know what to do.
Fix it.
We sold our house along with almost everything we owned, and we packed up the RV to live a lifestyle on the road. Now we're free from sticks and bricks and that old life we used to know. Come and join on our adventures, all the places that we'll go. And living in the RV is sublime. Destination Fulltime.
I know that was a funny depiction of what it's probably like to try to work without internet. Lucky for us, we don't have that problem. We both work remotely from our RV, and we have a system that provides us uninterruptible internet. One of the most common questions we get is, how do you get the internet? Obviously, we both work on the road, and we have great internet. So we do that by two ways. The first way is we utilize cellular, and we also utilize satellite. So yes, we have Starlink, and yes, we have traditional carriers. So we're going to get into how we do that, how it works with our router, and how we're able to have pretty much uninterruptible internet while we're on the road. We have a PepWave Max Transit Duo Pro cellular router. It can use 2 SIM cards, actually it can use 4 SIM cards, but you can use 2 different carriers, and you can also use some external inputs into it, and it can basically manage all of your internet needs. We have T-Mobile home internet, and yes, it is portable for the time being. We've been able to use it around the country so far, but it could stop at any time. Just letting you know that it is set for a home address, but if you search on the internet, you'll see a lot of people are using it for RVing. We decided to use it for RVing because it's very cheap. It's a $50 service every month. So we also have a Verizon SIM card, and we also utilize Starlink. So let's get into how that looks on your router. Now that we're logged into our PepWave router, you can see the connections that we have right here. We have WAN, which is actually the T-Mobile home internet plugged in to the router through an Ethernet port. Cellular 1 is our Verizon connection, which is the SIM card that's being used in port 1, or utilizing modem 1. And then the last one, Wi-Fi over WAN on 5 gigahertz, is connected to our Starlink. Yes, you're looking at me like you are so confused and bored out of your mind. I understand that. This is boring content unless you're a nerd. So, I'm not going to do this. We're not going to do a nerdy video about how to set up our router and how to do all that. I'm going to show you the equipment we use, and that's about all I'm going to tell you. And then we're going to be done with this video, because I don't want to bore you half to death. The biggest thing that you have to know about internet on the road is you're either going to use cellular connections, or you're going to use Wi-Fi from the RV park, which we all know sucks, or you're going to use Starlink. Those right now are really your three things that you can use. The important thing to note is there really is no one size fits all thing when it comes to internet. Everybody has separate needs and different needs. Our needs are way different than what most people would need. If you're just going on the weekend, or you're retired and full-timing, and all you're caring about is streaming some Netflix or getting on your iPad or phone with a reliable connection, you can go much cheaper and much less. A lot of people just use Starlink. A lot of people just use one cellular connection. The problem is, as you travel around, you're going to find that maybe Verizon doesn't work very well in one area, maybe T-Mobile doesn't work very well in one area, or AT&T might not work in one area. Now, you may have noticed I didn't say we use AT&T. Over the years, I have had such horrible luck with AT&T. We have had routers blacklisted. We have had all kind of problems finding a reliable AT&T connection. I'm not going to use a hotspot from AT&T. We have AT&T phones, so if we had to, we could utilize our phones as a hotspot, but we don't have an actual AT&T connection that we rely on other than just our cell phones. We're going to break it down to the 3 things that we utilize. The first thing we use is the SIM card in the router is a Verizon SIM card. We got that Verizon SIM card through Mobile Must-Haves, which I'll leave a link down below, right here, right there, right there. And you can get yours from there as well. You can also get a T-Mobile SIM card if you want. We are also, for our second option, using T-Mobile Home Internet. Now, you can go online and you can research all about T-Mobile Home Internet. T-Mobile Home Internet is using 5G, not 4G. The SIM card is using 4G. T-Mobile Home Internet, 5G. 5G is much better than 4G. That's all you need to know. You can get the T-Mobile Home Internet for $50 to $55 a month. Much cheaper than the SIM card. The SIM card, you're going to pay over $100 a month for that plan. And then last but not least, our third option is our friend Elon Musk with Starlink. So yes, we have Starlink, and yes, it costs $150 a month. So you can do the math and see that we're spending quite a bit on a mobile connection. That's overkill for most of you. The reason that we have what we have, and the reason that we have overkill, is because we both work. We're both constantly on Teams calls, Zoom calls, all day long, every day. We have to have a reliable connection. Now, one thing that really drove us toward the PepWave cellular router was Speedfusion. Now, Speedfusion is a way, and I'm not going to get into the technical talk of it because it's kind of complicated. Speedfusion allows you to take all those 3 connections that we're talking about, roll them all into one, and basically build what is called a VPN, which is very secure and also very, very, very unbreakable. So you may have heard of a VPN tunnel. Basically, that's what Speedfusion does, is it builds a VPN tunnel, and we basically, if one of our connections dropped out for some reason, we're able to still utilize our other connections. And from an end user perspective, we never know that we had a signal drop out or any issue at all, because it's built that VPN tunnel so that we're able to maintain a constant connection. No dropouts during calls, no people moving their mouth and no words coming out, none of that kind of stuff. We're able to maintain a perfect connection. Now, you can do that, you can use that, but you probably don't need that. Again, that's overkill for a lot of people. One other thing I want to talk about before we end this video is, clearly, you know what Starlink is, you know you've got the dish. I'm going to go outside now and show you how we have our dish connected to our RV. We have a flagpole buddy flag post, basically, with a connector on top. And you can see Starlink connects right to the top, and that connects to our ladder on the side of our RV, and that gets it up above the roof line, so we're able to have an unobstructed view of the sky, which is required for Starlink to work. Now, when we talk about cellular connections, you may have a very poor signal on your phone, but with this mobile mark antenna that we have on top of our RV, as I'm showing here, you can get a much better connection. And this is what they call a MIMO antenna, which allows you to send and receive signal or data basically back and forth all at one time. And this mobile mark antenna allows us to pull in a much better signal. It's omnidirectional, so you don't have to point it in a specific area. It's mounted to our roof and comes into our tech shelf, and we'll show you that right now. Here's where all of our equipment is mounted, right above our cabinets, because that's where Grand Design put the original router that controls the RV with the one control system. So my wife is constantly getting these questions about, well, how do you work remote? How do you work from an RV? and she doesn't know anything about the way we do this. And so she says, ask my husband. And so I'm telling you guys, again, if you have any questions about what we've talked about here today, feel free to reach out to us in the comments section. We'd love to get your questions. I'll answer them to the best of my ability. I am by no means an expert, but I have been in technology for about 28 years. And I understand a lot of this stuff. Again, I think the biggest thing to remember is there is no one size fits all. You can go and buy exactly what we have, but you may not need exactly what we have. The second thing to remember is you need redundancy. You could go buy just one SIM card, and if you don't care if you have connection, that's okay, because some people actually go camping and RVing to not have connection, and that's fine. But if you're working, you have to have redundancy. You have to have multiple sources. If you don't, you're going to run into an issue where you don't have a signal and you're not going to be able to get a connection, and then of course you're not going to be able to work. And when we're not able to work, we have to take days off, and if we have to take days off, that's utilizing vacation time that we don't want to utilize. So we make sure we have a good connection so we can actually go and have fun on vacation days, not utilize vacation days because we can't get internet connection. Anyway, guys, I hope that you have learned something from this video. I hope that it answers some of the questions that you might have. Again, I tried not to be very complicated with this. We could get into more complicated things about our setup if you want. And if you want that, feel free to leave that in the comment section. We can go back and make a Internet 2.0 video if you want. That would be great. But again, I hope that you enjoyed this video. Please remember to like this video and also subscribe to our channel. It's absolutely free. It helps us out a lot. I'm going to put a QR code right here. If you scan that QR code with your phone, it'll take you right to our page, and you can hit the subscribe button, and that helps us out so much. And again, remember, it's absolutely free. So again, thank you for watching.
And living in the RV is sublime. Destination full time.